Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Hanna. Let's get straight into the storyline. In northern Finland, young Hanna is stalking a reindeer and shoots it with her arrow. Soon it dies. She is harvesting its meat when her father, Eric, appears, telling her she is wide open. But Hanna attacks him. She clearly knows how to handle herself, trained all her life by Eric himself, but still has a lot to learn. He tells her to drag the deer back herself, but keeps a close eye from the shadows. Hanna gets back to the cabin, where Eric notes she is getting much stronger as she almost beat him.
Oh, you beat me. You're getting strong.
Eric is an ex-CIA German operative who has trained Hanna in various forms of combat all her life, with a single mission in mind, to kill CIA senior officer Marissa Wiegler. That night, Hanna wonders what music feels like and tells Eric she is ready to leave the cabin, but Eric ignores her.
Papa, I'm ready.
We have all we need right here.
Hanna skips through pages of a book before bed, staring at a picture of her mother, Johanna. Eric continues to push Hanna in her training and has her repeat her fake backstory until she has memorized it.
Tell me again.
William Grimm's house, Steffenstrasse 260, 10559, Berlin, Germany. We live at number 7 Weissinger Platz. I also have a dog called Trudy.
That night, Eric tests Hanna once more, but she overpowers him, reminding him she is ready.
I'm ready.
That night, Eric goes to an area in the forest and uncovers a box. The next day, Eric shows Hanna a beacon, noting that if she thinks she is ready, she should flip the switch and Marissa will know their location.
It tells Mr. Wiegler where we are. If you think you're ready and you want to leave here, all you have to do is flip that switch.
He, however, warns her to be certain, as there is no going back after. Hanna takes a day to ponder the situation, then she flips the switch, telling Marissa to come find her.
Come and find me.
Eric returns home to see the beacon flashing and sits in silence, knowing what is to come. Marissa learns about the beacon signal and that it's suspected to be Eric.
We think it's Eric Heller.
Eric Heller.
You're his handler, right?
Sure, name sounds familiar.
The name brings back dark memories, and she wonders why he's doing this now. Marissa goes over Eric's file with her bosses. It turns out she was his handler, but after an undisclosed incident, he was suspected in the murder of Johanna. She wants a team sent in to pick him up, claiming he may have intel valuable to their enemies.
Small. I worked with this man. He knows things I don't think you want to know.
Eric goes over his last bit of info with Hanna, and they plan to meet up at a location in Germany before saying their goodbyes. Then Eric leaves. That night, Hanna hears a team approaching the house and prepares herself. A team soon surrounds the cabin and begins closing in, guns hot. But the first 2 soldiers that enter do not respond. The rest decide to rush the cabin, only to see their men dead. Hanna then allows herself to be captured. Marissa learns Eric escaped, but they captured a kid, and Marissa becomes quiet. Hanna is brought into a CIA secure facility, where a therapist comes to do a psych evaluation. Hanna notices the cameras all around them, then declares that she wants to speak with Marissa, who plans to turn up.
I want to speak to Marissa Wiegler.
Or I'll be there tonight. Do what you're told.
A blood sample from Hanna is collected, but the scientists are baffled by what they find. Later, a woman steps into Hanna's chamber disguised as Marissa while the real Marissa looks on. Hanna asks her questions, and Marissa coaches the woman on how to answer.
I met him by a news kiosk in Alexanderplatz, East Berlin.
I met him at a news kiosk.
Hanna then seemingly begins to cry, even hugging the woman closely. The agents send in a team to sedate her, but as they open the door, Hanna swiftly kills the woman and all the guards, then shoots all the cameras, leaving Marissa in shock. The entire base is then mobilized to catch Hanna, who manages to slip under a secure barrier. She continues to evade the men and crawls through the vents. She then breaks into a lab and forces a man to get a locker before taking a file on her blood work and escaping the lab. Hanna continues through the vents until she gets to a door leading to the outside, and soon realizes she is in the middle of nowhere. A convoy of trucks passes overhead, and Hanna hitches a ride beneath one of them before getting off along the road. After the incident, Marissa removes some files from a safe and burns them. There is a flashback with Eric, Johanna, and a baby Hanna driving in a car. Marissa was the one who opened fire on their car. She rushed over to finish the job, but the family had escaped the wreckage. She sees them crossing a field and opens fire, managing to shoot Johanna while Eric escaped with Hanna. Johanna's last words still ring clear in her mind. Hanna will never belong to Marissa. Hanna walks until she encounters a young girl, Sophie, and her brother, Miles, who are on vacation with their family. Seeing a trail of dust in the distance closing in, Hanna ponders traveling with the family, but decides to continue walking on foot. She gets to an oasis where she encounters a group of women washing and singing and steals some clothes. She comes upon a bazaar and is entranced with all the new sights and sounds. As the day gets late, she finds an inn, and the kind old innkeeper provides her with a room to rest. Everything from the lights to the television to the hot kettle is overstimulating to Hanna. She rushes from the room when she runs into Sophie and Miles. We see Marissa arrive at a bar to meet with a sadistic former agent, Isaacs, requesting his talents to track Hanna down while her agents track Eric. He wonders if Hanna turned out as Marissa hoped, but learns she turned out even better.
It's the girl or Eric?
She's in Morocco. It's all in the envelope. Let me worry about Eric.
Shall I kill her?
Just find her.
Hanna meets Sebastian and Rachel, Sophie's and Miles's parents, and has dinner with the family. That night, Hanna sees that her blood results are abnormal.
No.
The next morning, the family hits the road. At the end, Isaacs is interrogating the beaten innkeeper about Hanna's whereabouts. They see Hanna sneaking onto the family's van, so Isaacs kills the innkeeper with his own pen. One of Isaacs's men spots the van on the highway the next day and begins to follow on his bike. Hanna is still hidden, observing the family, and Miles sees her, but doesn't blow her cover. We then see Eric arriving in Germany, where he encounters two policemen. A while later, Marissa fishes the cops' bodies from the sea, but insists to her subordinate that no one else should be notified about this.
Are we clear, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
The family has stopped, so Hanna climbs out of hiding. Miles sees her, but shows her where she can escape from the van. Also, there is Isaacs's man reporting in. Hanna goes to have a drink from the pool nearby when she encounters Sophie once more. Sophie plans to have Hanna secretly stay with her under the condition that she accompanies her to a party. That night, as she has her eyes on some Spanish boys nearby, Hanna and Sophie join the boys who take them to a gypsy party in the woods. After the party, Hanna and her date sit in silence. He comes close to her to kiss her, but Hanna throws him to the ground out of reflex.
It was nice.
Isaacs and his two men arrive at the campgrounds, but only see Miles asleep in the tent.
Es ist der Sandmann. Schlaf weiter.
Marissa breaks into Johanna's mother's home as we hear her playing a tape of Johanna telling her mother about the program she is in to make baby stronger. Marissa demands to know what else Johanna told her about what she was involved in, but the grandmother refuses to say. She knows what is coming and says goodbye to Johanna before Marissa shoots her dead. Hanna and Sophie share a tent that night. The two have grown fond of each other, but Sophie can sense that she is hiding something. Hanna likes her as well, but reveals there are very bad people after her, and there are things she cannot reveal. She still wants to be friends with Sophie, who agrees, and she gives Hanna her bracelet to remember her by. The next morning, Sophie tells her parents about Hanna, and they decide to give her a ride with them. They head out, but Isaacs and his men are on their tail. Meanwhile, Eric gets off a bus when he notices that he is being followed. He heads into a subway station, but as he walks, he is slowly being surrounded by agents. Eric wastes no time and jumps into action, battling the men and dropping each one with brutal strikes. He hears on a radio that Marissa is hunting him.
Damn it.
Hanna is enjoying the ride, feeling the wind in her hair and chatting with Rachel when she notices Isaacs's car gaining on them. Marissa is at home, still listening to Johanna's tapes, when she gets a call from Eric and alerts her team. He tells her he got tired of the mess they were involved in and had to get out. She wonders why he would come back now when suddenly one of her agents is shot through the door. Marissa gets down and goes for her gun, letting off shots through the door and diving back for cover. Eric kicks her door in, but Marissa escapes through a window. Hanna notices the car still following them. When Rachel thinks they're lost and has to pull over, Isaac stops behind them, and Hanna warns the family to stay put. She makes Sophie promise not to follow her and thanks her for being her friend before bursting out the door and running into a container yard.
Thank you for being my friend.
The men manage to corner her, but Hanna fights back and escapes once more. The men begin searching when Hanna ambushes two of them. Sophie turns up and watches in shock as Hanna battles and brutally kills one man with a knife. Hanna takes off once more at top speed, with Isaacs now on her tail, but before he can catch up to her, she jumps into the sea and disappears. The men, however, have captured the family. With Marissa, they're interrogating them about Hanna's whereabouts. They refuse to give her any information until she gets to Miles. She convinces him that bad men are after Hanna, and she is there to help. So Miles tells the address that Hanna is heading to.
She's going to Berlin, to Wilhelm Grimm's house, to meet her dad.
Hanna walks all the way to the address Eric gave to her, and comes upon an abandoned amusement park. There, she meets Arn, an eccentric old magician and an old friend of Eric's. He greets her like an old friend and offers her food. Hanna asks about Johanna, and Arn remembers her being a wonderful singer and a very good friend.
She was a singer. A wonderful singer.
Meanwhile, outside, Marissa arrives. Arn spots them and rushes Hanna to hide before the man burst in, demanding Eric's whereabouts.
Guten Tag.
Where's Eric?
Hanna is hiding under a bed upstairs when Marissa comes in and takes a seat on the bed. Isaacs also enters, and she hears them discuss the program and how Eric isn't her real father. Marissa gets a call, then suddenly checks under the bed, but Hanna has hidden. Once Marissa leaves the room, Hanna escapes and runs back into town. She gets to an internet cafe where she begins to research DNA interference and also Eric, where news reports claim Eric is responsible for Johanna's death. Eric arrives at the amusement park, where he sees Isaacs and hears them make plans to head to Hanna's grandmother's home. Hanna eventually also gets to her grandmother's home and breaks in, seeing the mess still left behind from her death. After a while, Eric arrives there, wanting to talk. She asks him directly if he is her father, and despite raising her like his own child, he admits to not being her biological father. He admits to her that he recruited Johanna from an abortion clinic where Hanna was illegally biologically enhanced to create a super soldier and was born in a facility. There were others like her, but after 2 years, Marissa shut the program down and tried to terminate the test subjects, but he saved Hanna. Hanna, however, thinks she is abnormal and a freak. Eric tries to stop her from storming out, but Hanna fights him off and overpowers him before jumping out the window.
I tried to prepare you for what your life would be.
At that moment, Isaacs arrives, so Eric acts as a distraction, telling Hanna to run and causing Isaacs and Marissa to chase him. One of Isaacs's men chases after him on foot, but Eric ambushes him and beats him down. Isaacs also attacks him with a piece of pipe, but he is no match for Eric, and Eric kills him. He then comes face to face with Marissa, who has him at gunpoint. Eric surrenders without a fight, and Marissa shoots him dead. Hanna runs back to the amusement park, calling for Arn, but finds him hanging from the ceiling with arrows stuck in his body after being tortured by Isaacs. She hears a sound outside, and it is Marissa, who has found her, so Hanna pulls an arrow from Arn and hides. Marissa enters, calling for her, but Hanna has escaped the park and takes off running. Marissa gives chase with her gun in hand, determined to put an end to her past. Hanna is making good way, but Marissa manages to cut her off. She pretends to want to help Hanna, but Hanna warns her to stay back as she doesn't want to hurt anybody. She tells Marissa it's over, but Marissa refuses to let her go. She lifts her gun and fires, but Hanna propels the arrow into her stomach.
Don't walk away from me, young lady!
Both of them fall. Hanna recovers, but Marissa is gone. She walks along the track until she sees a ladder and spots Marissa trying to escape. Now the hunter has become the hunted, and Hanna is determined to end Marissa for good. Marissa tries shooting at Hanna, but she is too weak. Hanna catches up, and Marissa raises her gun to shoot, but ends up slipping and falling down a slide. Hanna picks up her gun, telling her she barely missed her heart before shooting Marissa dead.